Were found in a home that had been owned by the same family for years. They were well known to the neighbors.
Fox 13's Carly Figueroa was the first reporter on scene today, and she has been talking with neighbors throughout the day. She's been talking with police from before we even knew the scope of this entire situation. And Carly, you have learned a lot about this family.
I sure have, Max. You know, Megan Huntsman was living here with her 3 daughters during that time that her husband, Gary West, had been serving a prison sentence, a 9-year prison sentence. Now, according to police, they believe that it was during that time that she was pregnant multiple times. Now, I've spoke with several neighbors on this street who say not only is it shocking, not only is it disturbing, but it's just very sad because they knew her very well.
Quite frankly, I'm still in a state of shock.
Aaron Hawker and his wife Kathy say they noticed the West family cleaning out the garage early Saturday about 9 a.m. By noon, a swarm of police cars that arrived on scene and caution tape was roped around the property.
We were wondering, what the heck is going on?
The Hawkers were worried. They're quite close with the West family who lives next door. Darren West had just finished serving a 9-year prison sentence and was ready to start his new life with his 3 girls. Neighbors say his ex-wife, Megan Huntsman, had moved out of the house in 2011 after what they call a struggle with substance abuse.
Yeah, we were worried about her because we could see that she was not looking in good health. And we were worried about the children that lived there with her. Her 3 daughters lived there.
But when they learned of the discoveries made, the bodies of 7 infants packaged in cardboard boxes in a garage just feet from their home, the Hawkers say the answers only created more questions, like how Huntsman had allegedly hid 7 different pregnancies from the tight-knit community.
She always looked kind of slim. To have this many babies full term, it's like, where were they?
So Max and Annie, as you would imagine, just a neighborhood completely blindsided by this news. Megan Huntsman had babysat for many of these neighbors, watched the kids in the neighborhood. It's a very tight-knit community, one of those streets where everybody knows everybody, but nobody saw this coming. Not a single soul on this street would have even imagined her being pregnant. They said she hid it all very well. Back to you in studio. And
Carly, you know, this is the kind of situation where, I think a lot of our viewers are probably feeling something like what the Hawkers are feeling, thinking about what about these poor infants. It seemed like even the first responders who we were showing in some of your video there, it's just a somber scene. You know, police get a pretty thick hide over all of this, but they seem like they've been affected by this too.
Clearly, I mean, they've been here more than 24 hours now working this scene. Many of them have not gone home. They've been working a full more than 24 hours now, and it isn't an easy scene to work. As you mentioned, this is a disturbing story, possibly one of the most disturbing scenes to stumble upon in years for some of these police in their entire career. And clearly, there's a somber mood on the street and about the force.
And Carly, after talking with authorities, are they confident that Megan is the mother of all of these infants?
You know, they aren't really letting on to whether or not she's cooperating, whether or not she's made any statements, whether or not she has admitted to the crimes. Those are the details that they are not revealing at this time because it is such a new ongoing investigation. So we really don't know whether or not she's confessed to this. We don't even know really how police knew to go right to her because she was in custody rather quickly when you consider how much evidence they had to obtain, how many search warrants that they've gathered, and how many different structures. I know that they've been to her home in West Valley City and also searched there. So they've been doing so much work in such a short amount of time, but really there's a lot we still don't know.
And reminding our viewers, Carly, that you mentioned that home in West Valley City. She had not been living in that house behind you for a couple of years. And so she had allegedly done this, left these children there in boxes, and then had been away for a time. I wonder what are they saying about the math of all this? There's that 2-year period of time. They don't think anything happened since then. And also, prior to that, husband in jail.
And other children, too.
Was she, I mean, are they telling you, did she have other relationships? What was going on here?
Well, you know, neighbors, like I said, the neighbors know a lot more than maybe some of the police at this time, because the neighbors have been watching this house and coexisting with this family and watching each other's kids and growing up together, essentially. So Darren West goes to jail. The father and the husband goes to jail, and meanwhile the mother stays here and raises those 3 children. According to neighbors, there was some struggle, a battle possibly with substance abuse, some addiction issues. They just saw her struggling, and there have been some allegations made, some speculation that she was having other relationships while her husband was in jail, and that allegedly could have led to their separation, to her moving out of this home in 2011. The children stayed here. The grandparents, other members of the family have been stepping in to raise these kids while their father had been in prison. We're told that he worked very hard to get his life back on track. He was looking forward to this fresh start. So, of course, a discovery like that made pretty much the first day he comes back to his home, you can just imagine. I mean, it's the kind of story that no one ever saw coming. Yeah,
and just to remind our viewers, those children that you're talking about, they were raising 3 daughters who are now, 2 of them are adults, 20 and 18, and a 13-year-old.
Yes, 3 daughters that had lived in this home, the daughters of Darren West, the daughters of Megan Huntsman.
All right. Carly Figueroa, thank you so much.